Well, thank you so much, Chair, and as always, everything through the Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank the Minister and her team for being here with us today. I appreciate the time. I am a little sad that we don't have the women's report tabled, so there's a lot of things that I would love to talk about that I feel is not quite the right time. But I do think it's really important to say that based on the testimony we heard, women spoke again and again about feeling invisible, both in their service and then afterwards in their treatment by VAC. And I would say that the amount of women who are reaching out to our office, who want to be here when the tabling happens, who want to know when it's going to happen and have put a lot of pressure on this committee to make sure it happens, tells you that there's a lot of need for it, but there's also a lot of hope. And it worries me to give people hope sometimes, because if it doesn't have follow through, then it's more devastating. So I hope that all of us in this place are carrying that very carefully. So in the context of that starting statement, I just want to say you did mention the minister advisory group that you're going to have on women veterans. So I know you are not in a place where you can announce yet who that will be, but I am curious about a couple of things. What is the structure in terms of the choice making of who's going to be on that advisory? And then also, what's the commitments around diversity? You know, during the time that we were doing this amazing work, and I'm so grateful for it, we did identify that we did not see enough women veterans from the Black, Indigenous, and people of color community. So we know there's going to be a great report, but there's definitely going to be a gap in that component. So I guess I'm curious about how you're going to select these folks that will be guiding you. And what is the commitment to diversity, and what is the commitment that it is largely veteran women? Thank you.
So thank you so much, Rachel, and thank you as well for your leadership when it comes to this study, when it comes to women veterans. I know that you were instrumental in that as well. I certainly can't at this table right now share all the terms of reference because we haven't made them public yet, but I can guarantee you that when it comes to the composition of the Veterans Advisory Committee, Women's Advisory Committee, we certainly want to make sure that diversity is reflected within this group. I also want to make sure as well that we are going to be having women veterans that are going to be on this committee. Let it be retired CAF members or RCMP members as well. I think it's really, really important to make sure that we have a good cross-section of folks. And again, I am relying on a group of women veterans that have actually helped us construct the terms of reference and also the membership of this committee. So I want this committee to be for women and by women. And again, making sure that we get the input from them has been very, very valuable. And again, want to thank the women that have helped in helping us put together the terms of reference, because I want to make sure that they are comfortable with what we're moving forward with, and that we can, again, move the agenda forward. And I, like you, we don't want expectations to be there, and that veterans are going to feel that we've what's the word I'm looking for? Under-delivered, if you will. And I carry that burden as well. If I can move the envelope when it comes to women's veterans here, move that needle, that is really a priority of mine. And that is why that the women's study that you guys did is so important. And that is why the creation of this advisory council for me is so important as well. When you say that women veterans feel invisible and feel unseen, through the department and through their career, I heard that at the summit, and I hear it when I meet women veterans. And when we know better, we need to do better, and that is really what I want to do.
Well, thank you. And I just want to qualify that when I speak of women, I'm also including trans women. And I also have to say, with the fierceness of the women that have been part of this study and the women who have stood in solidarity, I have no doubt that we will be pushed to do that work. So the next question I have, speaking of invisible women, is around the veteran survivor plan that was put forward around implementing supports for women who have married veterans after 60. We know that $150 million was allocated for that in 2019. We know that that's not being implemented yet. So I'm just wondering, do you have a date of when that's going to be implemented, and what is the delay? Because again, these are some of the poorest women across Canada, and there's a desire, of course, to address marriage after 60, and I thought that this would be the first step in that. And after waiting for these many years, a lot of of these women and their spouses are giving up hope. And I hate to see that happen. So I'm just wondering if we could have an implementation timeline for this.
So thank you so much, Ms. Blaney, again for that question. And I know that this has been an area that you've advocated for a number of years. I'm going to be very honest. When I became the Minister of Veterans Affairs, I really thought that the creation of this program, such a program, would be fairly easy. Naively, I just thought that I was going to be able to do this, very, very quickly. What I've come to realize, however, is that there could be some unintended consequences in moving forward with a program. So we really have to do our due diligence in making sure that by creating a program, there is not going to be any unintended consequences. And that is why it's taking longer than I had assumed in order to put together such a program. I continue to work with my officials and also to consult with other departments as well. And again, with respect to differing groups, because we fear that there could be some broader implications with respect to other departments, and that is why that it's taking longer than I had anticipated.